This was an arm that no living person could possibly have. It was completely withered and covered in wrinkles. No one could believe that this had once belonged to the vibrant Gon. It turned out that to defeat Neferpitou and avenge Kite, Gon had nearly drained all of his life force. He forcibly made a contract to gain the power that would normally take 10 years to acquire. At this moment, his strength was enough to crush Neferpitou effortlessly. Sensing that her life was in danger, Neferpitou unleashed her strongest attack. Her claws sliced straight toward Gon but hit only air. Realizing the situation was dire, she bolted toward the palace exit. But the next second, Gon was already standing in front of her. Gon had completed his full transformation. Even with overwhelming power, he remained calm. He didn't want the fight to disturb Kite, so he drew Neferpitou into the deep forest. Every step Gon took pressed an unprecedented weight on Neferpitou. Worried about losing her chance to strike, she decided to act first, but Gon dodged with ease. Then he launched a fierce counterattack. That single punch stole 8 of her lives, yet Neferpitou felt a strange relief, because she knew that Gon's power was burning through his own life. Once it was spent, he would disappear forever. That meant he would no longer pose a threat to the king, but she had severely underestimated the brutality of the battle. Gon's punches echoed through the forest, one after another, each heavy and devastating. When Killua finally arrived, the sight before him shook him to his core. Gon's fists were soaked in blood, and Neferpitou's body was battered beyond recognition. With the final blow, her life came to an end. Killua shouted Gon's name, his heart gripped by agony as if the Reaper itself had seized him. This level of power should have taken decades of training to achieve, and yet Gon had done it in this way. Killua understood the cost his friend had paid. Then a horrifying scene unfolded. The dead Neferpitou suddenly revived, turning her body into a puppet to launch a sneak attack. Killua tried to push Gon away, but he was too slow. In his grief-stricken state, Gon had his left arm torn off by Neferpitou, yet he merely smiled, trying to comfort Killua. Summoning his last ounce of strength, he drove his severed arm straight into Neferpitou's chest. In an instant, every bit of remaining power surged into that detached limb. Killua wanted to stop him, but he couldn't get close. He knew this strike would drain the final life force from Gon.